Up next is Attack of the Clones. Okay, Attack of the Clones is the second of the Star Wars prequels, and this is where I actually diverge from the general opinion. Because, well, I had real problems with Phantom Menace. Although flawed, Attack of the Clones has lots of good stuff in it, and it's actually a decent enough film. I mean, it's not in the same league as some of the better Star Wars movies, but it's actually a fairly strong movie in lots of ways. It's a very flawed movie, but it's strong. So I'm going to actually probably defend quite a bit of it. So if you hate the prequels, you should stop here because I'm actually going to be nice about them. Right. Basically, I'll start with the big negative thing I've got to say about the prequels is I touched on it in Phantom Menace one is like Natalie Portman is still terrible in this movie, and it kills the romance, and it's bad because she just is like for most of the movie, and it's hard to do a romance when one side doesn't say anything interesting and is like this. I mean, the writing did not help. The problem with the writing is she's an older woman dealing with this guy who must be about 19, 20, and you do feel like if she's probably in her mid-20s at this point and he's very naive and very confused, you're thinking, isn't she been a bit of a predator? Because she's leading him along and then she ends up romancing him, even though he's pushing quite a bit as well. It's like, shouldn't she know better? So that's the kind of creepy thing. It's always been a problem for me with this film. Is like she looks like a bit of a predator in some ways. They're trying to make it out like he's the stalker, but she's older than him and she's probably a lot more knowledgeable about people than he is, and it's like this doesn't look good. This is dodgy. I mean, the dialogue as well over explains everything. I mean, there's explanations for stuff that you don't need. I mean, the thing if you look at the original films is they suggest things, and like the subtext is always there for what's going on, but they don't see it out loud. This film, they see the subtext all the time, and it's very annoying, especially in the romance, because there's lots of very obvious dialogue scenes that I think because of Phantom Menace, they over-explain something to the point of nervous in this romantic section. And that causes problems, so you get dialogue that's sand, and you get stuff about I wish type of thing, which is terrible dialogue. So there's lots of stuff like that in it, which is kind of complicated. Try to be complicated, but they don't do it because the dialogue doesn't match up. But I mean, there is some good. The good thing, the funny thing about the romance is that the Anakin character acts his age because he acts like a. Yeah, he whines a little bit, but he's only meant to be like 19, very confused, and anyone who was 19, probably actually talking at all to anybody is a good sign, because a lot of 19-year-olds are basically monosyllabic with lots of things, or act out in strange ways, and they're even less articulate than the guy in this film is. So I think the reality of that kind of situation was put against the film, even though the dialogue could have been a lot better. I mean, it would have been nice if they got someone in to direct those scenes and cut most of the dialogue out, because when they're not talking or the dialogue's very basic, it works a lot better, but as soon as they over-talk anything or they talk for any real length, it becomes like, oh god, shut up, because the dialogue's not good. So yeah, the dialogue and the romantic scenes, especially the first half, are a real problem. But the thing about this film is, a lot of people hate Anakin in these movies, and I quite like him as soon as he becomes Hayden Christensen. I mean, he gets bad dialogue throughout the movies, which is a problem for him. He has to cover a lot of ground while not having the best support with some of the dialogue. But when he's not talking or when he's got stuff that's on point, he actually delivers. So he's actually does a decent job. He's playing a character who's a bit unlikable, and he's not what the fans wanted from Anakin. And that's the big thing. They wanted someone who was heroic. They wanted someone who was very much like Luke and who was tragic at the end. Or they wanted Vader from the start. Depending on what fan it was, there was lots of different theories of what they wanted from Anakin. But it wasn't this guy who was very confused and who was messed about and who could whine a bit and who acted like a teenager. So I think basically by actually having him as a teenager and having him as mature, it probably caused a lot of problems for fans. But I kind of like that, even though there could have been some work done on it. I liked also the fact that in some of the early scenes he's very awkward with Obi-Wan because that's like a normal kid with the parent or a normal kid with an older brother who just act out and be a pain just for the sake of being a pain, just to show how cool or tough they are when they're just being annoying. But I thought those scenes actually worked really nicely when he was acting out a little bit and being a pain. That was actually quite good because that's very accurate to like 19-year-olds. But in a lot of the early stuff, when it wasn't trying to be the romance, a lot of it was actually quite nicely done because it was all about the paranoia of the society they were in. It was all paranoia, this underlying menace, there's something going on. No one can put their finger on it, but there's something going on. And everyone's actions are affected by this knowledge that there's something's not quite right in their world. And the movie always works on that level as like there's something they can't put their finger on, but they know something's wrong. And the build up to that throughout the movie, as it slowly becomes emerges that there's a clone army, that the separatists have created another army that's going to come at them, and this whole thing about build up to war, people can sense something's not right, and that's done really well because this whole feeling of this thing's just out of control and no one knows why, and no one can put a finger on why it's going wrong, but something's just not right anymore. And that's really well done. It's very underrated. No one ever gives him credit for that because he actually struggles showing a society going from democracy to fascism. And that's one of the best things that the prequels is. It's about that. That's the big thing. It's about a society that was flawed and probably corrupt in lots of ways, going to what's its worst instincts. And the thing about Attack of the Clones is it's the movie where it shows the line of it going from one to the other. I mean, Revenge of the Sith is a fallout, but this is when it happens, and it's really well done because you can just see him slowly, step by step, falling away into fascism. And by the end of it, you've got an armada of clone troopers going to fight for the Republic, and it's pretty much all over already, which even the Jedi admit they kind of lost. And the Jedi lose a lot in this film. The Jedi are shown to be like out of touch. I mean, early on you find Yoda saying that they're arrogant. You have Obi-Wan being concerned about Anakin being arrogant. Their dealings with the Republic are getting tense because they can't do what the Republic's asking. And they're shown to be very ineffectual. They're dealing with Anakin as the supposed chosen one, which seems kind of odd for something that's maybe democratic. They're falling for this like chosen one myth that they really shouldn't be because it still goes against their general beliefs. What's quite nice actually in the film is like you see them fall for something they shouldn't fall for, and they lay it out. They're falling for something dumb. They're being stupid, and you can see how they almost deserve to fall because they're desperate. They're getting more and more desperate, and their own arrogance, their own institutions that they've built up over centuries is now coming to bite because they're out of touch. And you just see that throughout the movie, this slow paranoia building and building and building. So that's one of the things I think is really wonderful about the film is this fall into fascism that is very underrated. People hate giving George Lucas credit at the moment. I don't know why. I think they're just angry and they wanted Star Wars to be what they wanted. They wanted to be just like the first three films. It's never going to be that again. Right, some of the other good stuff is the battle scenes and the fight scenes. I mean, there's a great action scene in the first section where they follow an assassin through Coruscant and they're going up and down. They're falling from flying cars, they're flying through traffic, they're just stalking this one person, and it's really well done. It's so well paced. It's a beautifully made action scene that again doesn't get any credit, and it's like this was in any other Star Wars, if this was in one of the original Star Wars films, you'd be loving this. And here it's like, yeah, we don't like Anakin, so we're not going to give this credit. It's a really well put together sequence. I enjoy watching it. I still enjoy watching it. it's so well done. There'll be one section where he's stalking Boba Fett and they have the big fight scenes, where the dialogue scenes in the fight on the planet of the Bacon Clones. And then Obi-Wan follows him and there's a space battle between him and Jango Fett. Are also brilliant. Just so well done. The threat established, they show the threat evolve. Mistakes are made with both fighters all the time as they have to try and outwit the other person, and both parties are good at fighting, so neither's plan ever works, so they always have to try and improvise. And it makes for a great sequence of events because you're watching like good warriors have to deal with someone at the old standard and have to keep improvising to stay alive and to win. So really well done. A textbook way to actually make a good action sequence. So again, these are underrated scenes. These really should be a lot better received than they actually are because George Lucas did them really well. The whole clone army sequence as they see as Obi-Wan actually investigates the mystery and finds the clone army is great, especially seeing an army of stormtroopers waiting. It's like, you watch that in the cinema and you're like, wow, this is great. And I still get that even watching it in Blu-ray because it's like, it's a Star Wars moment and it's really good. So I think things like that are just forgotten about and just underrated. The final battle scene, as soon as they get to the Geonosis, the planet they make a lot of the war machines, is great because you went through the droid army. Then there's a wee Harryhausen sequence where they're fighting these monsters. Then there's they're rescued by the clone army. Or they're rescued by the Jedi who are defeated by the robots. Then those Jedi are rescued by the clone army. There's a massive battle scene leading to a final fight between Anakin, Obi-Wan and Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee. Okay, step by step, it's escalation all the time. As soon as they run that planet, it's escalation of battles, fight scene after fight scene. Each one's different, each one's well set up, well established, and they build and build and build and build. And again, why does this not get any praise? This is really well done. It also shows the Jedi getting defeated. You're seeing the limits of the Jedi, you're seeing the danger of the Separatists, you're seeing the Clone Wars come in and seeing the beginning of the Clone Wars and how the Clone Warriors were actually very efficient, which is also kind of weirdly creepy because you know where it's going. And again, no credit given to George Lucas for this. This is really well done. And again, it's a democracy going to fascism, something that should never happen, becoming a massive war scene, and by the end of it, there's a war going on. There's a massive galaxy-wide war, and it's like, it's really impressive how it's set up. But again, no one ever really brings that up. It's just like, the romance. It's like one section of a film shouldn't justify hatred of the whole film. There's lots of good stuff here. I mean, there's stuff that people don't like from the idea of Boba Fett as a kid. Like, we get to see Boba Fett when he's actually a kid. And it's like, well, who cares? You see his father, who is the original Boba Fett. You see him in action for the entire movie. You see why Boba Fett becomes Boba Fett. Why he's complaining. It's a prequel. What do you expect? Oh, the fact that he's the creation of the Clone Army, I thought was a nice touch. Got a lot of hatred, and no idea why, because they created the Clone Army out of one of the better bounty hunters in the galaxy. Why wouldn't they do that? That makes sense. But again, it just gets dissed. So I don't know what to say about that. That's a good sequence, a good idea. That's a good idea that's just completely ignored by the detractors. So it's some people are just going to hate because it's not what they wanted. And this film got a lot of that. It's not what we wanted, so we're going to hate on it. Another great sequence that is just never gets mentioned is when Anakin has to go find his mother. Where he just dreams about his mother being tortured, so he goes to Tatooine with Padme to find out what happened. So he had to go and find her and rescue her. By the time he gets to her, she's dying because the Sand People have tortured her. She dies in front of him, he goes mad, kills all the Sand People. And that sets off his feeling he's not going to let this happen again. That is, someone close to him died and he couldn't do anything about it. And he went mad, he sees the limits of this character. it's a really well done sequence. The whole way through that sequence, it's really well done. There's a couple of bits of dialogue which is bad at the end, but that can be forgiven for the whole sequence leading up to it, because you actually see a character slowly go towards do something he shouldn't do, but it's understandable what's going on and why he's doing it. So it doesn't get any. It just seems to be completely ignored when people just hate the prequels. Like, that's a good sequence. That's when you see Darth Vader start to be born, and it's ignored. So basically, this film, I think, is a very good but flawed film that should get a lot more love than it does. It's been ignored a lot, and I don't see why, because it's a lot better than Phantom Menace, and it doesn't have a lot of the problems Return of the Jedi has, which I'll get to eventually. So I'm going to say this is a good film. It's not a great one. It's, if they could have got someone kind of polish the script a little bit, would have been a lot better. But still, there's so much in here that was really good that deserves respect. So that's my view on Attack of the Clones. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.